Do suppressors make you any more accurate? Today we're going to go through the benefits of shooting with a suppressor. So we're shooting the Encore 308. This is one of the new barrels, 26 inches long. You can see it's threaded for a suppressor, threaded for a muzzle brake, 1 in 10 twist. We're going to shoot just standard Hornady whitetail ammunition, 150 grain interlock bullets, nothing special, nothing match grade. This is a normal hunting rig, because what we're trying to show you today is how can this gun perform with and without a suppressor, and how does it work in the field, how does it feel. The Encore's overall platform is very compact. So this is a 26-inch barrel. I know it doesn't look like it because there's no action on the Encore. This basically right here, your breech block right there, is the length of your action. So the gun overall is only 40 inches long with a 26-inch barrel. The Encore is offered in a Katahdin version at 20 inches. And of course, we could cut this barrel all the way back to 16 if we wanted. But even with the suppressor, you can see the overall length is still very compact. So let's throw a couple rounds down range here at 100 yards, qualify the accuracy, then we'll put the suppressor on and see if we can hold that same accuracy. Let's see how well the Encore shoots. All right, about 2 inches low. Wow, 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 wow. This is so indicative of an Encore barrel. Definitely sub-inch, I would say closer to a half-inch group at 100 yards. So before we moved the target, so what I did was intentionally shot below the bullseye, so that way I don't disrupt my aiming spot, so it's easy to make a click adjustment. Today is all about accuracy testing. So the two things we want to learn with changing to a suppressor is, does it change the point of impact? Does the second shot, because the first shot's cold bore, cold can, does that change the point of impact? And ultimately, can I maintain the same tight group size? So we're going to let the barrel cool now. We're going to put the suppressor on. Then we're going to go shoot the cold bore shot out of that cold can shot. And then we're going to hold the same point of impact and then show you what multiple shots through the can produce. All right, let's see what she does cold barrel, cold can. So we're going to shoot the same target, same point of impact, to see, does the can change your point of impact? All right, so left and right, absolutely no change, about 1.5 inches lower than my other group size. But again, cold barrel, cold can, so we'll see now if it changes in the point of impact now that the can's warmed up and has the gases sitting inside the baffle system. Cut the same hole. It was a little bit off to the left, that could have been me. So we're going to throw another one down there just to see if I influence that shot. I mean, still an inch group. Both amazing. I will tell you, the feel of shooting the gun, the recoil, the noise, everybody knows the value of a suppressor, but I just want to remind you, the experience shooting this is so much more fun, especially if you're shooting bigger calibers, you're new to shooting, you don't like the recoil, or you're shooting on a line with a bunch of other shooters. Just being polite to other shooters. Having a gun that is suppressed, it's not silenced, it's quieter, because they're still breaking the sound barrier. So unless we're shooting subsonic ammo, subsonic's about 1,000 feet per second. Sound barrier, you know, is around 12 to 1,400 feet. So you got to be about 1,000 feet per second to be under the sonic crack out there. And here we're just shooting standard Hornady hunting ammunition. So, you know, we're shooting at, 2820, so 2x the sound barrier essentially. So you still get that little bit of a crack, but definitely nice to shoot. Let's check the groups out. So here's our group size. This is the first group. Just a wow group. So you're talking, it may be 5/8. It's close to 1/2 inch. That's incredible. Typical Encore barrel. So this was cold barrel first shot, cold suppressor, and then these were your other shots. So still an inch group. This little bit of left and right. So this was cold can, then shot 1, shot 2, shot 3. So if you take this shot out of it, right, which absolutely could have been me, I mean, you're basically, this group size here is the same there. So at 100 yards, no difference in accuracy, better experience. But the biggest thing I want you guys to walk away with are two things. Look at your point of impact difference. Okay? If you screw your can on, you take your can off, you know, sight it in, learn your can, shoot with your can, hunt with your can. But if you take it off, just understand you are going to have to re-zero your rifle. All right, we hung a target at 200 yards. We're going to repeat the same process we did before. I'm not going to change the point of impact, so it should be lower than what it was at 100 yards, but we're going to see, does that distance stay the same between the barrel without the suppressor and the barrel with the suppressor? 3-shot group on both. Right at the bottom of the paper. Just clip the target. Remember, I didn't adjust the sight here. I was already 2 to 3 inches low at 100. So we knew this was going to be lower. It should be right there. Tough to see. It's getting hot. More mirage in the scope for sure. Let's let the barrel cool a little bit. Then we'll put the suppressor on, shoot a 3-shot group, and see if it maintains or spreads that point of impact difference. We have some environmental changes now. The sun's coming out, and now the wind just picked up. So we may see a little left to right movement just because of the wind. So that's not the fault of the suppressor. All right. Now this should be 4 inches lower or so, 5 inches lower than the non-suppressed barrel. A lot easier to stay in the scope. One of the advantages of having a suppressor is you can see the impact on target. So it's moving a little bit. Now this is a 308, so not terrible in recoil, but without a suppressor, I'm off the target. So I can't see point of impact. So if I'm hunting, I have the ability to see, did I hit high, I hit low, did I get a perfect shot on the animal? And then even in a PRS match or some type of rifle competition, I now could see the effect of the wind on my bullet. So here, if we're having any wind and I could see that point of impact hit left, well then I know I need to compensate for the wind. So interesting, there was mirage when I didn't have the can on, just environmental mirage. Now I could see, but it definitely has that little bit of a fuzzy look. But the more I shot through the can, so this can is heating up. The barrel, like I couldn't grab this and turn it off right now. No way. Way too hot. So what's happening is the mirage coming off the can now is in line with the scope. So it's creating more mirage than I would typically have without this. They do sell covers that insulate this and help with the mirage. So if I was in a hunting situation, a PRS match or something, I would definitely want a cover for my can to help with the mirage in front of the scope, especially on a hot day like this or multiple shots. Let's go check the group out. That was my very first shot. Again, no suppressor on it. Second shot, and then the wind caught this one. So I disregard that. The elevation, not much change. So again, you're shooting sub-inch. This is a 200 yards. And then here's your group suppressed. And again, this shot over here probably caught the wind because the wind right now is blowing across us like this. So identical group size between suppressed and non-suppressed. But the most interesting part is really no point of impact change at 200 yards. We have a point of impact change by about 2 inches at 100 yards. This goes to show you, you need to shoot your rifle at multiple distances and understand the effect the can's going to have on that, how it's going to regulate recoil as well as gas and as well as vibrations inside the barrel. That changes the harmonics. You're adding something that's heavy on the end of the barrel, so it's going to change the overall performance of the gun. So don't think you can just screw the can on and go hunting. This shows you it is going to have an impact, not on group size, but on your impact on target. Let's go ring some gongs at 300 yards. All right, now we're going to ring the gong at 300 yards. The gong's roughly 8 inches or so. Now we do have mirage to deal with. We have wind drift to deal with. I did go in the Hornady Forward Off app. I determined I needed 18 clicks to be able to compensate for the bullet drop out at 300 yards. So I am just going to shoot suppress so I can see my point of impact Again, the advantage of shooting a suppressed rifle on recoil, so I can call the shot with the wind and make any adjustments as necessary. All right, first shot, see how we do. Read the wind, I've got some right to left. Left, wind got me, so I need to add a little bit more to the wind. Hit. It's the advantage of shooting a suppressor. It's awesome. When you can call the shots like that, read the environmental conditions, you don't have the recoil, it's a pleasure to shoot, and we prove to you there's no difference in accuracy between suppressed and non-suppressed. You just have a point of impact difference, which is easy to compensate when you sight in.